actually has continually impressed. I remember casting him in Challenger a year ago on Fusion and just repeatedly sort of not being very impressed by him, and he's been steadily growing to where, look, he's holding up against Bjergsen in the final and doesn't look like he's overmatched at all.
Yeah, and now we have to look at how these teams adapt, having switched sides and also having gone through that entire first game. Looks like the Soraka ban is going to be here to stay, and because the game was so close, I'm really not seeing many major differences in the ban phase thus far.
Yeah, I mean, they also threw another ban at Aphromoo last game, and the Bard ban, you know, taking away 2 range supports from him, just went over to the Morgana. This time around, let's see if they also leave Echo up on field for Hansar to pick. Maokai is, again, not going to find himself in this game because Darshan does not really have a good history with the champion. He does play the champion, but...
There's the pinch. This is the big one here because if Graves gets banned, it's Nidalee against nothing. If Graves doesn't get banned, it's Nidalee against Graves. So either way, it's some kind of a jungle pinch where you're getting 1 tier list higher.
Well,
I mean,
or if, sorry, Nidalee is banned, it's Graves against.
There's also Echo that can come through.
Of course.
There's a lot of things that are potentially getting pinched here. I mean,
TSM
one of the best options for CLG is to just ban a target ban and then take 2 power picks and giving TSM 1 because there's so many of them up right now.
All right.
It feels like, but they do
Graves,
Nidalee.
Graves has a really high priority right now.
It's still a pinch though because it's either Echo priority or Graves priority.
Well, Graves is the single most contested champion in pro play in patch 6.6 right now. TSM have had great games with that on Svenskeren. It does leave that Echo Poppy grab that CLG was so happy to do before.
It's also a flex pick. You can move him around. Hansar can also play a very mean Graves, so good opening here from TSM, I think, even with, you know, Echo, Poppy, Trundle, everybody's still up.
Yeah, I mean, there's, like you say, so many things up. They could just go with a quick Echo and Poppy right now if they wanted to, and then either have Hansar play Graves or put him on Gragas again. Because last game, even though Gragas has some mid-game impact, unless you're landing perfect ultimates in late-game teamfights, you're a non-factor. And Hansar was not landing ultimates in late-game teamfights and was a non-factor.
And keep in mind, you still get to play Morgana against this, unless Yellstar wants to take that one away. Aphromoo gets to even further stymie that playmaking here. And we'll see with Graves taken off the table. You've got a while to go for your junglers, most likely. CLG looking to take these same champions again. An early round Caitlyn as well.
Yeah, they're going to steal it away.
I like it. Well,
Stixxay, and force Stixxay to get a little bit closer. They want to try and punish his positioning. There was one opening. Oh, excuse me.
What are you talking about?
They're preventing that strategy from TSM.
Yeah.
Caitlyn's been Stixxay's best champion, in my opinion, in the playoffs here. The 2 times he's played it, he has very good games. And they don't care if Doublelift plays Kalista based off of this, because in the late game team fights, they're confident in their ability to outrange and outplay.
They got me too with the little ode to Doublelift there.
Kalista hover.
Kalista hover, tricking him and tricking me.
Saying, hey, Doublelift, do you want to play Kalista again?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it, bud.
All right, well, Poppy does get grabbed away. I think no real big surprise that if that's left on the table, TSM going to snatch that up as quickly as they can. So most likely top lane Poppy and jungle Graves here for the TSM lineup. This time around, though, Alistar is the beloved support, even though Braum was up from last time. Insta-lock on the Morgana, and now Rek'Sai here for Smithy in the jungle, leaving mid lane for last, presumably, depending on where Echo goes.
Yeah, so they do go with Rek'Sai, which is a bit of a comfort champion during the regular season for Smithy, but I would almost expect them to run Elise with the rest of the poke that they have in this team comp. Bold though, looking to do some counter jungling.
Smithy definitely is, Smithy definitely is taking a hit for the team as far as the jungle champion pool comes down to in champion select here. Oh, and a very quick last round here from TSM.
So
Doublelift has a lot of protection now. Doublelift and Svenskeren probably, because Svenskeren, last time he got Graves, he was a giant carry for the team.
They're great persistent damage, physical damage dealers here. The jungle marksman, the AD carry marksman here for Doublelift with his another Kalista game for him, and the Lulu to buff them up could be very, very successful, as well as injecting some magic damage to the lineup. Yeah,
I really do love the Lulu here getting options, because Graves is always this champion that since he's building Bruiser and he's building things like Death Dance and Maw, he's fighting this curve with trying to deal enough damage while being just tanky enough to lifesteal sustain through the fight. And if you have a Lulu shield to rely upon, even if you get a little bit behind that curve, you're going to have that extra boost from the Lulu, and he'll be able to keep putting out the damage and lifesteal back up.
Exactly, you'll get it back here. So CLG making a few small changes to the lineup. Corki gets grabbed up now for these guys here. So once again, a last pick Corki red side, but this time it is on counter Logic Gaming. So TSM hoping that Lulu from Bjergsen can buff up the teammates or maybe bully out the lane itself. Meanwhile, all of CLG's damage than the arms of Huhi and Stixxay.
Yeah, I mean, no real surprises here. It's TSM again focusing heavily on team fight. And CLG with the Rek'Sai jungle pick, it does give them that extra global pressure they're looking for. You know, you may be questioning maybe the Elise a little bit more gank pressure, but Rek'Sai does add another option. You know, he also was one to play Udyr and go split pushing late in the game. So this is another champion that Smithy can actually add some split pushing pressure as well.
And I also feel like CLG's picked a lot of poke to go around the split pushing Echo. This time it's going to be the tank Echo, most likely, for Darshan in the top lane. And I really love Echo in the hands of anyone on CLG just because it relies so heavily on the flanks in the team fights, and since CLG plays the whole map so well, it's super dangerous. I'm a little surprised they went with the Soraka and the Kindred bands again and let the Echo go through, and also didn't first pick it. I think it's the highest value pick in this matchup.
Yeah, well, that was the game that TSM
Everybody's
went
an Echo
for.
player.
Yeah, hoping to pinch the Graves jungle matchup, pushing Smithy down to Rek'Sai. So we'll see if it's going to work. If you think TSM got this one in the bag for game 2, tweet hashtag TSM win or send it to hashtag CLG win. Tweet at Lol Esports with who you think it's going to be. But we are here into game 2 of the North American Spring Finals. CLG's up 1-0. TSM looking to bounce back. Let's see if they can do it.
Defensive spread this time from both teams.
A little trading early as well. Crowd trades chance.
Oh.
Laners trade damage.
Cash money, too.
Afremu gets
Junglers
15
trading
gold.
damage as well. Yeah, Afremu with a nice 27 gold start. It's got to feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah, TSM learned last game. CLG aren't going to play into the normal pattern that they had so long in the normal split of invading and looking for those deep wards.
It's actually one of my favorite parts of separated best of fives when you have a lot of footage in another team. They have these really interesting level 1 plans.
They know
based
that
on
you
the
know that you
expectation.
know.
Well, but that's so fun to me, the game theory around the blind choices you have to make based on your expectations of your opponents. And CLG,
That ward does see them.
yeah,
Speaking of expectations here.
it's a 2-on-2, and it's actually an even better matchup than last time. So CLG,
Oh, the ward did not see them. Just kidding.
ooh, I don't know if they saw TSM. The binding's gonna miss as well, but yeah, this is a 2-on-2 that I do believe favors Counter Logic Gaming. So once again, they correctly get the matchup.
By the champions, it would definitely favor them, but this would be the question of whether Doublelift and Yellowstar have developed a synergy to a point where they could take down Stixxay and Afremu, but Alistar against range support Morgana is tough.
And Afremu likes to play this Morgana in lane extremely aggressively. You'll see him get bush control right off the bat and then look for these bindings, try and pressure Doublelift. He's always looking to pressure the AD carry. He will even go for the flash bindings point blank to try and ensure that it lands.
And how this 2-on-2 got played is actually really crucial here. Because CLG, the waves are close enough in size that even though TSM's will die first and CLG's level 2 first, there's enough minions alive that you're seeing these cast minions getting denied right now off the screen that TSM don't have the ability to fight for.
Yep,
So
Doublelift has to give up those CS.
Yeah,
will.
He's still level 1, can't throw spear through there.
a lot of those casters lived.
He does get the melee though.
Yeah. At the end of the day, TSM actually won't lose as much as you might have thought.
But the advantage here, and the
nice one.
way you play a lane with Caitlyn is always build a big minion wave, force them to CS under turret while you pepper them with headshots.
Yep.
So Stixxay going to look for a lot of harass under turret, while Doublelift and Yellowstar probably going to focus on sustain here and trying to last hit. Alistar, maybe he gets that level 2 heal.
Doublelift did a spectacular job CSing under turret there. Like
He
hit,
missed one.
and there were some
total.
tough ones to get in there when you're working around a Morgana harass as well as Caitlyn.
Yeah, 11 of the first 12 CS where he got level 2 second, got pushed in. Really beautiful play by him. Yellowstar did learn the heal, so he's got to hit level 3 before Headbutt comes in, and that means you've
Their
got very
defense
little
now.
going from Yellowstar. Look at that. Already a CS lead for Doublelift. Really, really well played by him.
Oh, let's get that one as well.
Yeah, Stixxay's dropping with you.
Graves in the river right now, but Rek'Sai's in the area. Smithy could answer. Both junglers very healthy. Rek'Sai and Graves, two of the junglers that lose the least health.
Wow.
Kindred right up there with them as well.
This CS right here, Double set 24 of 25 possible CS right now. In a losing matchup, he's dropped exactly 1 minion. Honestly, I just have to stress how good this is from Doublelift.
I mean, Yellowstar, it is a duo lane, has been able to tank enough hits and give him some heals.
That's
but
true.
I do have to criticize CLG a bit for not being able to harass him off more CS.
And a nice trade right there on Afro. The first time he gets for the headbutt, Pulverize gets in on Afro, knocks him to half HP.
There's a reason that Double Lift always talked about how heavily he focuses on winning lane. He's good at it.
Yes, he is. Remember we asked Double Lift if CLG is fated to win all the playoff series now. If playoffs are CLG tinted. He's like, no, it's playoffs are Double Lift sided.
Mirroring junglers here for a lot of the early game.
Ooh, nice stun in Horizon. Now it's a flash wait. Chilling Smite is on. He's got nowhere to go, and it's going to be one more hit to do it. X50, the heal comes through, still gets the first blood, but now it's time for the trade kill. A knock by Defensker and still gets the kill back up on this one. Now a one-on-one with the top laners fighting back and forth, and here comes the TP in. Lulu on the top side here. The flash Q, one more hit will do it, and Bjergsen with the flash E getting it 2-for-1 TSM.
This time it's TSM that have the double teleport, and the teleport from mid lane ensures that Sven's able to get the second one as well. Bjergsen coming in, and he's going to get some cash for that.
And this early skirmish was so close. CLG did have the lead on the start of the play because Svenskeren is killing Scuttlecrab, but then Haunter gets away with the sliver, and look at all the damage and time Svenskeren has to start killing Xmithy. Then he plays the rest of this fight quite well. He has the teleport coming in. I would expect him to run up, but he ends up running down because he could dodge the parallel convergence. He's the one who has the Scuttlecrab speed, so Darshan knows he can't run away across it, and they get that kill to make it a 2-for-1.
Yeah. Now, Huhi during that was able to die minion wave, but here comes another teleport.
The flank team for Hanser. Flash Pulverize Afro, who now flashed the wave, and now Caitlyn's stuck on the wrong side of this fight, so we'll see if it's
Minions.
one or
It's a
two
CS.
kills. Gets to the CS, can't get very much. 300 gold for Double Lift.
He actually autoed the wrong range minion there. He didn't get the last CS either.
Miss one. At least Aframu lives, but it's a 3-kill start for TSM.
Yeah, that teleport, though, from Haunter is a monstrous sacrifice as far as laning potential. He didn't pick up the kill in the top lane on either one of them, and Darshan used to teleport to get back in lane. So that's why he knew the teleport couldn't be mashed, but that also means he's going to fall well behind in CS. That's 2 to 3 waves dying to his turret in the top lane.
Yeah, Darshan should crush this 1-versus-1 now.
Yeah, which I think is actually more valuable than the kill on a double lift early.
Ooh, they were prepping for that dive, CLG here, but Haunter dives under the turret, and they cancel the plan.
Yeah, well, it's still going to be a 10-minion lead, which doesn't suck at all for Darshan. So the end point here is a 700 to 600 gold lead for TSM, who should be up 900 gold via kills. So you can't feel too bad for that.
Yeah, both of the teleports did cost them minion waves.
Yes,
there were 2 top that Haunter lost, but Bjergsen also lost one as Huhi shoved in.
It's just quantifying the cost of the TPs.
Yeah.
It's, of course, still a lead for TSM. You can't really hate on that one.
Boy.
You're seeing it tempered a little.
He sees Svenskeren.
Level 5 Graves.
Level.
Ring around the rosy.
Oh my God.
That's funny.
Well, he was spotted by the ward anyway. Otherwise, it would have been a really sneaky play, and he could double back for a gank.
It's really hard to sneak up on Rek'Sai because Tremor Sense.
Right.
Yeah, well, Rek'Sai got spotted by the ward, unfortunately.
And either way, CLG down on items in both top lane and jungle. You see Ruby Crystal Spectre's Cowl and Longsword versus Not. That's the benefit of the early kills you're getting here, and the fact that Haunter got to recall off the bot lane gank. Nice damage from Double Lift. He preps the Ren on a minion, then Qs forward and pops Ren to do damage to Stixxay. Tries to trade, but Stixxay got out with the 90 caliber net. Once again, back on 2 in the lane.
Look for the level 6 advantage as well down on the bottom. That's huge for that duo.
And we'll see if the hard engage can come in. It's going to be on how good your Black Shield is against Pulverize and vice versa.
Yeah, and this will be whether or not TSM gets to push that gank advantage on Haunter. It's looking really strong. Oh my God.
And a Pulverize trap hits Double Lift, Dark Binding its Yellow Star, but Double Lift sadly misplayed the rend resets, didn't have it up for the fight.
Well, yeah, I mean, you want to ideally get one into a minion so you can also reset, but he used it early for the slow to get, what, 4 or 5 more autos in?
Oh, sure. I'm not saying it's a bad trade, just unfortunately couldn't get the reset when going for it.
Yeah, I mean, if you take the time to throw one back at a minion, I think there weren't any in range.
Yeah, it's always a cost you take.
Unlucky.
Unlucky.
Yeah, as we saw up there, the cameraman showing off some of the tricks with Echo, you know, ulting back to lane. Not only does he have the teleport, but this is something that also he did last game, by the way. Yeah, it was impressive for him to keep up in CS in that lane. He was using everything to get back there, teleport, ulting back.
Uptime's really important, though. The more you can get gold and XP, the better off you are in the matchup.
And it is a sacrifice for team fights. If those do break out, you're not going to have a pretty big duel.
And we really need to pay attention to how much of an advantage Haunter can or how much an advantage Darshan can get over Haunter since Haunter abandoned that lane with an early TP versus how much of an advantage TSM can cultivate in the bottom lane because of the kill the TP granted. I mean, that was an early game trade that has a lot of ramifications down the line.
Well, there's money waiting in that top lane outer turret. There's always money in the banana stand in this game. The top outer turret. Here comes a package across who he wants in. Yellowstar only level 4, but Doublelift is 6, so he pulls him right into safety.
Yeah, Yellowstar 6 too, but they don't have to use both ults.
I misread. My eyes are going. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was actually a little surprised TSM didn't go all in on that, but they didn't want to. Doublelift could have flashed the wall, but that would have been a little bit aggro. Didn't look like the greatest start.
Yeah.
For a CLG.
I mean, CLG all-inning on the level 6 All-Star with the Kalista next to them.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they could have tried to commit more resources to that, but just burning the Fate's Call is also a good option for TSM, and they just back out. Yeah, I mean, Svenskeren actually really wanted to go make a purchase with Graves. Yeah, had a lot of gold, and now he's got Challenging Smite, fully completed Warriors here, feeling much more confident, whereas Smithy has gone that Sightstone. We talked about him being a team-focused jungler. He's looking for the vision. He's using not only the Tremor Sense, but also the Sightstone wards to try and keep track of Svenskeren early on.
Yeah. And keep in mind, he rushed Boots too as well, so he's got more movement speed as well as more tank stats to be a big frontliner, so he's getting around the map as well.
That is true, but something, and one of the reasons why, if we talk about the greater meta, why damage and carry junglers are so big right now, is because those junglers initially build into damage, which increases their gold generation, increases your clear speed. Rek'Sai, with going Sightstone and Ninja Tabi, Svenskaren's going to have a very quick...
Option of binding without Yellowstar there.
No mana for the Caitlyn ultimate, though. He just took over 100 right now, but was nearly in range of popping that. He probably still could, honestly, walk forward and press
I mean,
R.
you could get the heal out for it.
That's worth it.
Yeah.
I would totally take that. And there we go, actually. The money didn't even require CLG to show up at the duo lane. Darshan wears down the top lane outer turret and brings the gold back to equal.
That was a really interesting play there. I mean, Doublelift was playing with such confidence. I feel like he was also really proving himself in the first 10 minutes of this game. CLG picks Caitlyn early, Doublelift counters with Kalista, then he still smashes the lane. But he didn't have a support there, and he thought he was going to be able to punish it and made a mistake.
It's a psychological game, right? It's one of the really cool components, you know, that League shares with poker, I guess.
Yeah.
And Doublelift, Rainover was talking about the MVP, you know, using that confidence to change the play of your opponents. Svenskeren here and Smithy trading blows.
Whoa, early ulti used by Bjergsen to try to keep Svenskeren inside the fight, hoping for the knockup on Rek'Sai. Can't quite get it, though. And now the re-engaged knockup onto Svenskeren. Corki's in the fight as well. Has to dodge away from the rockets. Somebody he'll burn. The shot's coming around. Oh! Flash bind from Alpha forces the flash out from Bjergsen. TSM retreat.
Good there from Svenskeren, using the ult to get over the wall, then still had flashes, both him and Bjergsen. But Aphromu's roam definitely taking its toll there. Bunch of flashes blown. Both junglers are going to want to keep track of these, by the way. Since we have standard lanes here, a lot of the playmaking is up to them. TSM also do have the teleport advantage now, have to remember.
And I think it was also really bold of xMithi to take that fight. He's the Sightstone Rek'Sai versus the Challenging Smite Warrior Graves, and they were just able to go toe-to-toe. But a lot of that was enabled by the late roam from Aphromu.
Yeah, and so the early damage junglers, their clear speed is increased, but in a full trade, like defensive stats, Ninja Tabi are really efficient in dueling. And that's why they were able to get a pretty good trade there.
Yeah. I've got to point out something real quick that happened, though. While that mid lane fight was happening, looks like Doublelift forced Stixay's flash out in the one-on-one.
That confident
had to roam. So yeah, the confidence comes back in. This time, no support for CLG. Flash trade.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, it's really easy to be confident when you have a support and theirs is showing mid lane.
Yep.
I'm super confident.
Guys, I think we can land this time, but Pulverize. Has to flash it. So, a trade of summoners now. Hurricane done for Doublelift. Now the lifesteal's coming in as well. Several pink wards in the inventories of both teams. Save a life, buy a ward. Everyone who plays League of Legends, please. Pink wards up at all times.
I really like this from TSM, setting up a play bottom because they have an Alistar.
Here comes Poppy.
Double teleport on separate wards. It's twice as flashy. Aphromu whimsy to the side, but everyone walking away. It will mean the turret kill, but it does mean the rest of CLG were able to run away. And Echo is still pushing the top side.
Yeah, I'd have to call that a failed cross map right there. TSM already retreating with nothing gained aside from potentially this turret.
Wait, will they not even
the turret. They
wow.
let 2 teleports lose 1.
Oh my gosh, that's actually a travesty right there. Darshan gonna get a blue buff steal for this one. The top wave pushed most of the way into the turret. Ouch.
Yeah, we're going to have to wonder how similar this game will be to game 1 as well. CLG is so much more comfortable playing the map than TSM here, and TSM tried to replicate some of that coordination, but were unable to. CLG was ready for it.
Everybody's been trying to replicate in North America the double teleport from CLG. Liquid tried to do it, little results. TSM here, not much yet. They still have plenty more chances to make it work, though.
Yep. We'll try again in about 3 minutes and change.
And this time it is CLG playing around the package timer. So they're confined by that. Huhi is leaving it in base right now. But man, now would be the perfect time to go get it, I think. You pick up that package, you know that Darshan has teleport, Hanser does not, so it actually gives you a huge advantage to create a play.
Definitely agree. CLG, I think, should have control of the bot side of the map.
Looks like Stixxay is gonna
This is the play they want to try.
They're trying to go for the flash of the headbutt into the pulverize. Here comes Echo, but is it going to be enough to keep Stixxay alive? The Ren stacks are in. There's the first kill. Darshan to keep going, but where are the teammates? Morgana's still far. Doublelift losing a lot of health, but he's close to Ren's lethal damage. Hits Darshan down to about 600. Looking to go back into this one.
Re-engage here for Darshan. Smithy's coming around the top side, and he's very healthy. But Doublelift and Yellowstar retreat.
Looking for the play, even still. Smithy not in range for a flash knockup, but Yellowstar is out of cooldowns. Doublelift has no ulti as well. Huhi packages in. Look for Doublelift in the whole map-long dive. I'm going to give that one a perfect 10.
Well, look at the top lane here. They're trading, again, the opportunity cost for that play. Everybody down bottom is going to be this top side turret. Stixxay is going to come in and try and clean it up. But can CLG even get the outer turret on bottom side? I think they're going to leave Darshan for the local gold there.
I think they can. It's going to be blow for blow, but I do say TSM has a slight edge on this, and it's a very bold play they make.
Binding in turret range. Smithy looking for a bit of the knockup. Yeah, he's going to be able to walk back from this one without too much trouble now. That was tight, though.
Yeah. I mean, crazy that CLG, knowing they're down their double teleport, is still willing to go from a behind the turret dive from Yellowstar with the Alistar ultimate. But they knew Afremu wasn't there, and they were confident that they wouldn't die to the tank Echo, because the teleport comes in right away, and Doublelift just says, all right, let's just burst Stixxay down. They know their damage. They get the Ren.
And watch Doublelift's passive hops here. He got right outside the AoE from Darshan's ultimate there, staying away from the Echo Shadow. And TSM's duo lane was able to pick up the kill and almost get away, but they were also able to draw CLG down. Remember, this was TSM fighting this whole series, or this whole series of events right here, being down a teleport cooldown.
Yeah, but they get 2 turrets during this whole charade down in the bottom lane because Graves is pushing top. But of course, Huhi's here with the package. It is a great usage of the package. He cuts off Yellowstar, and he also gets in range to easily kill Doublelift. Combo that with a nice binding that Afremu lands while taking the turret, making the second kill very easy for Huhi.
Yeah, smart by Huhi to even save the cooldowns. He knew Trinity Force plus Gatling Gun was all he needed for the Callista, which meant Phosphorus Bomb was up for the Alistar kill afterwards.
All right, so let's take stock here. TSM, once again, they come into the game, they redraft a team fighting comp. They get another early gold lead here versus CLG. Can they find the fights that they need, or can CLG, again, play the map? They have so many cross-map abilities here. Smithy getting right back out there with the Rek'Sai.
And
but TSM want to keep up the pressure.
Curious to see Doublelift's late game Callista here, because CLG lacks assassination potential against what's probably going to be a double lifesteal Callista and Lulu shields. That is tremendous late game team fighting, and their gold distribution is in the right place to make that efficient. So CLG goes in.
Looking for the flank right there out of the back line. Doublelift very low and held the bind against the Afro with the flash Q. Now to keep going to this one, a headbutt. Gets Smithy out of the fight, and now a flank is in for Hanser, but it's a 5v4. Afro's going to land a double stun, and there's plenty of attacks coming out from Stixxay, but still, it's not enough.
Still
and Hanser is crushing up in the side, doing what damage he can. It's a 1-for-1 overall as Afro and Doublelift are both dead. The chase continues. Hanser on the right-hand side. Bjergsen's going to be in range for more. There's the glitter lance, slowing down Smithy. The stun into the wall, make that a 2-for-1 for TSM.
One marksman goes down, sending the backup. Svenskeren still Graves, and they still have a lot of damage in that team fight that was very aggressively initiated by CLG. So really close game, but that ends with an even larger lead for TSM.
And look at this, CLG used all their flashes on Afremu and Smithy, the 2 initiation flashes there to get Doublelift down. But as you said, Svenskeren once again on Graves, another AD carry threat. They actually lose a couple seconds of DPS uptime there, but refocus and collapse back onto Smithy. So it's not just Rush Hour that dies in this team fight. They're able to get one more.
Haunter had a lot of patience to get the correct wall stun here. Gets the angle and closes him in right on this corner there.
Speed buff from Lulu. Yep.
And waits out the entire slow from Glitterlance, so very well played mechanically. Haunter 0, 1, and 3. The TPs have been mostly good.
Yeah, with that being said, though, that's the type of thing that can happen for TSM late game if they want to hold this gold lead. Doublelift will be the main force in the very late game team fight. 173 damage would not be enough, but the rest of TSM was there to counter, and CLG committed so much to the initial kill.
And keep in mind, the 60 was live the whole time, and he got 600. He had to hit an Alstro half the time.
Not able to get the right fights in.
Caitlyn Trapp's doing a lot of work here, making it difficult for TSM to move up. Although TSM have a great team fight, they're very short-ranged. It's very, very difficult for them to get inside this CLG comp. If CLG can just play defense at their turrets, they're fine holding off these waves. And TSM need to focus on the neutral objective control, getting that vision down to play the map.
Now Smithy trying to take away the blue buff that Bjergsen wants, but knows that the rest of TSM is coming, so he's got to give that one away. Only takes the little baby Sentinel, and it's only a little bit of golden XP away. Bjergsen gonna grab that one easily as he moves towards his third item. The standard Lulu build at this point of Frostqueen's Claim into Lichbane, it's a ton of movement speed, and a lot of movement speed delta as well with the on-active slow.
Yeah. It also adds another artificial AP scaling to Lulu, which is what TSM need. They need an AP threat. Bjergsen on this Lulu can't just be a babysitter, because Smithy's going full tank Rek'Sai. And they want to keep him a little bit honest and try and make him not build full armor. As of right now, it's a great option for him, and he's doing it. But it's going to be Bjergsen trying to get as many autos as well as Glitterlances through Smithy into the back line, because he's the one doing the magic damage that's going to have to try and take him down.
He's going to hope he can do enough. I like that he's got a Darksteel, by the way. Corki actually has pretty decent AP ratios. So I like that he's building AD, and it's like, well, my spells do more damage too, don't worry.
Seems like everyone wants a Darksteel nowadays.
It's a very good item.
You can stack it up on Corki.
Yeah.
Pretty effectively.
Last game on Corki, Bjergsen built fully offensive items, still only had one death. Fuhi, we'll see if he goes Kamikaze with the package, which is an option here, and then he loses Darksteel stack, so less likely.
You can try and get out with your second Valkyrie, your flash, and your heal.
Yes.
He's got most of the things up right now. His heal is almost coming back.
You know, CLG have been very siege-focused anyway, so it's not been as much about the dives for them as a team overall.
I think that they definitely give this Dragon over to TSM. TSM right now, they're kind of chipping away at the turrets. They're trying to get some damage while they rotate, but they're diving!
Darshan, Black Shield keeps him safe for now, and now Smithy looking for this one. A lot of damage to Elstar, who pops the Unbreakable Will and will stay alive. Bot lane tier 2 does go down. TSM up 6,000 gold.
Yeah, TSM playing very cleanly with this lead. They're rotating, they're getting the wards down, and they're not leaving themselves as open to the flanks of CLG. We were in a situation in game 1 where TSM had a lead and they went for a siege, then got flanked on. Here though, as I said, they split up, and Huhi can't cut them off with the package.
A little bit too far to the right, doesn't knock anyone. Svenskeren gets led by the Dark Binding, flashes back over, but why even bother? It's in a 1v5, loses the cooldown, Dragons up for CLG to take their second, and what better thing for a rapid fire cannon Caitlyn than the second Dragon buff early in the game?
The second half of my point was going to be that TSM have to make sure that the same thing doesn't happen again, where they split up and get flanked by CLG. But that's exactly what happened there. The Dragon doesn't even go over to TSM.
Yeah.
They could have just 5-man back towards the Dragon and taken it easy.
As we were saying, that's why I didn't think they were going to get these turrets, but they committed so much to the dive on the turrets. Alistar not having ultimate up for that, and everybody's spreading out as the package came in. This is really big for CLG to actually get that second Dragon, and TSM still sitting on 0.
And definitely a concern as we crest into the mid game. That 6% ability power and attack damage actually quite relevant as far as combat stats go. It'll be worth a couple thousand gold that you won't see in the scoreboard normally.
Yeah, because TSM, well, they do have double teleports up now.
Yeah.
So they can try and use that. They know the package is down because it was just used on them. And they could try and time that.
You know, they still have the giant 5,000 gold lead, not to mention Stixxay is really a non-factor at this point in the game. Even when he was able to have a lot of time in team fights, the front line from TSM is very strong. You can add that to Lulu shields. And even if he goes to hit either of the 80 carries at TSM, he's going to lose those trades. So he needs a lot more time to power up.
Okay, here comes the mid lane siege though, and TSM not perturbed at all. They're using that gold lead to push and shove their weight forward. CLG has to respect it. Both marksmen are about 300 gold short of their Infinity Edge power spikes, which is a huge damage surge when it does get completed.
They just go with the turret blitz there, run straight up the middle. chip the turret out before CLG are able to rotate down in defense and set up their traps. If you play against Caitlyn, yes, in the same lane, it's really annoying to get through those traps, but if you keep moving and switching between lanes, force her to pick them up and walk all the way over.
Yeah, she has to set up for about
small openings.
10, 15 seconds, depending on what rank the ability is. 6A did, in fact, fully max build over Peacemaker, then 3 points in traps.
And importantly, this time, TSM are satisfied with just that damage that they got, a small chunk off the turret. They don't overstay and give up a couple extra kills here.
Well, that gave some nice breathing room, though, for CLG. Both Infinity Edge is now done, so Huhi and Stixxay are online to be real threats. Randu and Zoma done for Smithy. Even though we're seeing Bjergsen build what ability power he can, you have a heavy armor tank in both the top lane and the jungle. No one's getting MR yet in any meaningful way on CLG.
Randuin's when there's no crit AD carry and no crit of any kind on the enemy team.
Yeah,
it did get recently. I know it did get recently buffed, so it's an efficient item. But there are, small min-maxing things that you can do with the other armor items to get a tiny bit of extra utility.
Yeah. Still a general good tanking item. It looks like TSM's going to continue with this group siege strategy. It's going to kind of be on CLG to stall this one out and wait for their opportunity. It's something they're very comfortable doing, but this is a larger deficit than they faced at any point during the first game.
Well, then CLG has to claw their way back into this one if they want to keep this series with a CLG lead. SoloMid looking to tie this one up 1-1. If they can keep this going, honestly has looked good so far in the game, and the double TP should give them a mid-game rotational lead as well as you press 26 minutes.
What TSM really want is a fully engaged team fight. They need a full commitment from CLG into a team fight somehow to spark that. But they don't really have too many tools for the impetus to do that, so that's why they continue to try and blitz these turrets.
Oh, headbutt pulverize on Smithy. Yeah, but Yellow start down a bit low. Binding hits Bjergsen for some decent damage. In comes Darshan, taking a lot of damage, gets the shield back up and nearly kills on the Alistair, but out to run away. The knockup's to Reyna, who's gonna, Hanser, it's nobody at all! And the re-engage comes in, Bjergsen! It's 2 kills so far! Make that a third as Huhi goes down! And nothing for Smithy, a 4 for 0!
Yeah, Hanser didn't want to hit them because he didn't want to give them a free ticket out of the fight. And TSM take their lives, instead they're gonna run straight through to the inhibitor.
They combo through CLG. Couldn't get a clean first initiation, so the re-initiation and the team fighting and the gold all come out big for TSM, and they get a full push down the mid lane.
Yes, CLG may be good at playing the map. Oh, Aphromoo gonna get chased down here, actually.
Binding onto one and just running away to buy time.
To be honest, Aphramoo's buying time because the game could have ended on the other side if Aphromoo didn't sacrifice.
The sacrifice there. Sacrificial lamb.
The game may still be over, just not yet, because this is 10,000 gold and a Baron.
Baron's going to be going down almost for sure. CLG would need a minor miracle to save this one, but they might try. You never know.
I have to say, this is such a good second game from TSM after the first.
CLG has to try to stop this. All in.
Can Poppy stop Rek'Sai from getting in? No, she cannot. They're inside the pit. Plenty damage to Echo. Pops the ulti. Now Smithy is stuck inside the pit. 2400 HP. Down goes Smithy. Now Caitlyn's in the fray as well. Here comes Huhi. This is the fight that CLG needs. They get one so far, but it's still going TSM's way. Stixxay, the last one alive. He's not going to live much longer. TSM win another fight.
And CLG commit everything for that. That's going to be game. Yes, in game 1, CLG could play the map, but the only part of the map TSM have to play is mid lane. They got all their advantages there, and they're going to go straight back up to the Nexus.
A Baron buff, Hanser, and a super minion. That's all they're going to need. TSM looking to close it out.
Yes, such a bounce back game for TSM. They stayed calm, they stayed collected. They stayed with their mid strategy. The whole game, they were just up and down that mid lane. CLG could not split push, could not team fight. TSM takes it to 1-1.
The individual plays triumph. Another great game from Bjergsen and the rest of TSM. Another early game lead, this time capitalized. CLG had no more miracle flanks. TSM had solid team fighting, a great game plan, and
they got a big enough gold lead to just run straight up mid lane and force through the turrets. They kept blitzing those turrets, chunking